All right, all right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the first show after a loss. That's rough. It's very rough. I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm not feeling great. I'm mostly past it. Mostly. A couple things that are still bugging me, but mostly over it. Losses come and go. They just losses happen. It's very, very hard to get through a season. Um, get through a season undefeated. It just doesn't happen. It's a very rare thing. Let's see who all's in the chat. Who we got? Who we got in here? We got a couple. Might have some low numbers. People are probably watching the World Series. I mean, I'm watching the World Series right now on my other monitor. So, you're not alone. But yeah, like I was saying, they are exceedingly rare, undefeated seasons. Um, I mean, you know, Oklahoma has um, four national championships in the last, well, 50 years, I guess. Um, Yet only two times have they gone and won every game on their schedule. Just doesn't happen. Just does not happen. And Kansas State played well. They did. Um, Oklahoma did not play their best game, especially there in the middle. Had a lull there towards the middle of that game, which kind of cost them. They were, you know, they seemed a little, I don't know, stuffy, a little out of sorts as far as the offense is concerned. I don't know. The numbers were there, but I don't feel. Maybe it was that lull in the middle. I don't feel like they were really themselves, but I don't know. It seems weird. Tom should be joining us shortly. He should be here in a second. Um, who y'all rooting for, World Series wise, or do you not care? This is probably some fodder for discussion. Ooh, stats of war. That is TCU guy, right? Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. We will get into that. We will definitely get into that. Chili peppers. Hey, better than whatever 21 Savage is. I haven't Googled him. I assume it's a him. Although, that's kind of exactly the kind of thing I would expect from Les Miles. Exactly. So, oh no. McConaughey yelling out play ball before the World Series. I thought it was going to jinx him. I thought there's no way. I thought there was no way. Yeah, it's a little slow. Little slow. What do y'all think, if you're there in the chat? I know JP Howard is. What do y'all think of Baylor? Baylor's got a chance to it's got a chance to run the table. I think that's incredible. That's crazy. Matt Rule is a magician, I guess. I don't know how he's done what he's done, but sure as shit, there they are. But, they've got Oklahoma and Texas left. I mean, they're going to beat Texas, I think. Rule and Herman, both like Dave Matthews Band. Maybe their brainwaves will sync up. Maybe. Can you imagine, like, Matt Rule and Tom Herman slow dancing at the 50-yard line to Satellite? Oh, that would be so great. That would be awesome. I think Tom Herman might enjoy that a little more than Matt Rule would. He seems like a sensitive fella. All right. Still 2-0. Grinky's still in. Good grief. Give him a kiss for sure. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. God, Grinky's pitching a gem. Too bad it's in an AL park. Grinky, one of the best hitting pitchers, yeah. I think they said something earlier in the broadcast about him being a little bummed that it wasn't in an NL ballpark. But that's for sure. Grinky is definitely a hitter. I wonder where Tom is. He's taking his sweet time here. If you extrapolated his home run to at bat to a full season, he'd on pace for 35. That's amazing. That's incredible. I always liked Greinke. It's a good pitcher. Good pitcher. But my favorite pitcher on the Astros, and Chad, I am not a Astros fan by any means. My favorite pitcher has always been, currently on the Astros, Justin Verlander. That dude, when he was, he seems to still be somewhat in his prime, but that dude can throw.
going on?
All right. Welcome, Tom. Not much. We're a little slim here in the chat.
Yeah.
I imagined it would be the case, given the World Series and, everything.
Oh, is that tonight?
Thunder game, if any jokers are watching that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So how you been? How you doing since the loss?
I've been better. It's snowing here right now, so I'm really not happy with my situation.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
it's not like a school canceling kind of thing. Just the fact that it exists kind of pisses me off right now.
Oh,
I'm not a fan of snow to begin with, but it's October still, for a little while at least.
Yeah. Holy hell. Wow.
All right, that'll help. Let's
Here we go.
Yeah, let's get us some extra innings. We're not
Oh,
going to see any
God.
more baseball.
Could you imagine if we got weird baseball on Game 7 of the World Series?
Oh man, and we're so far from it.
I
You know
know.
how much stuff would happen, or I guess not happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Washington would have to tie it, and then just a bunch of nothing or a bunch of something.
Wow. Amazing.
So I see we hit on the favorite music list thing.
Well, we touched on it a tad. We haven't gone through the list. No, absolutely not. We've got. I mean, we did speculate at perhaps Matt Rule, Tom Herman slow dancing at the 50-yard line to Dave Matthews Band, Satellite. Thought that'd be pretty romantic.
That's what's going to happen, right after that football game, right after they play each other.
Probably. I don't know. We had a question about the Chili Peppers.
Mm-hmm.
See, I am a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. I love Chili Peppers. I thought that was a dope answer. But I don't know that J.P. Howard agrees.
Earlier, I think it was Garen Emig from the Tulsa World tweeted when this list came out that Oklahoma upgraded 2 years ago with Lincoln Riley liking the Chili Peppers because Bob Stoops' favorite band or group was Bob Seger.
I mean, I kind of have to agree with him. I mean, Bob Seger's great and all, but
I'm not a big Chili Peppers guy myself, but I'm not a big Bob Seger guy either.
yeah.
They're both take 'em or leave 'em.
Fat Anthony Kiedis Peppers.
On that list, though, did you link the list?
Yeah, J.P. Howard dropped the link or a link to it.
I appreciate everybody that said, and there were a couple of these Earth, Wind, and Fires. I don't know that they would be my answer, but they'd be one of my answers.
It would be one of your answers.
Yeah.
See, it's hard to narrow it down to one band or one act, right?
Yeah, it's like when anybody, people ask you, what's your favorite movie? It's like, well, I like a couple of movies. In my case, that's actually true. There's 4 movies that I've seen.
So I think I would go about answering it in what's the band that if it comes on, I'm never not in the mood for, I'm never just gonna turn off.
Well, and if that's the case, Earth, Wind, and Fire has a hell of a case here.
Yeah.
Did you come up with an answer?
I think I did.
Or are you still working through this?
No, I think I came up with an answer.
Okay, so if somebody says your favorite musical act,
I
Blinkin Riley's response is,
I would have to go with the Black Crowes.
all right.
They've been up there for a long, long time. So
As long as
I
I've
just
known you.
don't think I would have. I don't. There's not a like album song. There's nothing about them that I would just turn off.
Frank
And I
Stolich
don't
is a
know.
Bob Seger guy.
Oh
Frank
really?
Stolich is a Bob Seger guy. So is Jeff Tedford at Fresno State.
Well, I love how they have the conference commissioners on this list as well.
Um, Doc Holliday at Marshall doesn't have a favorite musical act, and I think he's the only one that answered that way, or at least that's the way it comes across.
Oh my god, what a jerk! Young Bolland, Tom? Did you see the Baker interview today?
Yeah,
Young Bolland says, "What do you make of Baker's interview?"
he
Hashtag
doesn't like
drinking.
losing. He hasn't
Hashtag
had to
with
deal
Blinkin.
with it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think he was being a like jerk to the reporter guy.
Oh, I gotta.
And then the reporter asked the stupidest question of all time, and so he pieced out. Like
I've,
I was with the
I've got a
reporter
buddy
guy
who
all
works
the
as a
way up
newspaper
until that.
reporter. I've got a buddy who works as a newspaper reporter, and so like anytime any kind of like media thing happens, involving Oklahoma State, he'll text me. He's not a big Mike Gundy guy, I'll tell you that. But the text I got today at 1:47 was Baker Mayfield is quickly becoming an insufferable prick.
But come on, that's the stupidest question you could ever ask a player. Were you happy with that drive? A drive that ended with no points.
Well, maybe it was a lesson learning drive. The building blocks are there.
Come on, man.
That's a joke. I don't believe it. Oh, same kind of thing. So I didn't catch the OU basketball game last night. Like, that's on my to-do list at work tomorrow. But I did listen to the last 2 minutes and part of the post game on the radio, and the way they were like Oklahoma ended up winning by about 13 or so. The way they were trying to spin it was, this is the kind of game you want to have in an exhibition. And they were playing Southeastern.
Yeah.
And so they're like, this is the kind of game, you want your guys pushed. You want to see exactly what they could do. Oh, is that gone?
Off the fair pole.
Wow. Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Yeah, giddy up.
Okay.
So anyway, Oklahoma wins by about 13, and whoever was doing the post games, like, this is a game you want to see what your guys can do. You want them pushed. You want to see them in a situation like this. You don't want to put up 140 in a game like this.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, sure, okay, of course you don't. You're much happier with that 68-64 win over Southeastern, because you learn something about yourself.
Yeah, that's dumb. I mean, I see if that's a byproduct of getting a bunch of players a bunch of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I can see that argument, but not just you want that type of game.
No.
You don't want that type of game. You want to win every game by 1,000,000. That's the best. It's the best way to do it.
We've
got some speculation on Bob Bowlesby's favorite band, the Little River Band.
Bowlesby is actually the Zach Brown band.
You mean he's not reminiscing?
No. He is not going to reminisce back on his tenure as Big 12 commissioner with any fond single through the infield.
Uh-oh. Also, take a second to thank the infamous Taco for following.
Thank you, infamous Taco.
Thank you.
What is 21 Savage?
I don't know. I mentioned that a second ago.
Les Miles' favorite band. Googling it up.
Yeah, I don't know what 21 Savage is.
It's a rapper, songwriter, record producer who was born in London, England, and is based in Atlanta, Georgia. He has been active since 2014.
That's pretty on brand for Les Miles, I think.
Hold on. Like the first thing on Google is like, how many times did 21 like they've got questions? How many times did 21 Savage get shot in the head? Holy shit.
21? Is that how he got his name?
6. So
What the
we got
hell?
15 to go apparently.
God. So Mike Gundy on this list went with Prince. So
I guess he said
I have
that in
questions.
the past. I was talking to some Oklahoma State friends, and apparently that's something that he has mentioned in the past. So
wow. I wouldn't peg him. I'd have pegged him
would
for
not have
like
expected that. No.
no, I'd have pegged him for like a Sawyer Brown kind of guy.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna knock him for Prince, like I'm gonna knock Tom Herman for Dave Matthews Band. And like I said, you know, you jumped in our group chat and said, "Oh, Dave Matthews isn't that bad."
Dave Matthews is not that bad. I mean, I feel like the internet likes to have a fall guy, right? Nickelback, Dave Matthews Band. It's like Nickelback is like cookie cutter rock, whatever, right?
I'd rather listen to Nickelback. I'm gonna go on record and say that.
Oh my gosh.
Is that it? Are we done here?
I guess.
Shut it down.
Yep, shut it down.
Last year, like Prince's estate put out an official video for "Nothing Compares to You." Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Oh my goodness! Like, the song is fantastic. I mean, the video is what it is.
You don't like that song?
No, I love the song.
Oh.
I especially like it by Prince.
Oh.
Like, Sinead O'Connor was fine with it. What in the hell is my Twitch username?
T. Crittenden?
Yeah, TM probably. I guess the question I should have asked is, what is my password? Anybody can help me out there. Password is taco.
Google the demo acoustic version Prince's Estate released for I Feel For You, later recorded by Shaka Khan. Nice. I bet that's
Chaka
good.
Khan, Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan.
Holtamer is with a quality meme. Yeah, we got a ball game, folks. This is good.
I was thinking that, maybe we finally get that 1-0 ball game that, everyone was expecting with the, the greatest pitching matchup in World Series history. And I guess 3-2 still ain't bad.
No.
Greinke looked phenomenal through the first 5.
Oh, yeah.
I guess he was the first pitcher in World Series Game 7 history with 4 assists by the end of the 4th inning.
Damn.
How many more qualifiers do you want in that?
I don't know. That's an obscure stat.
In an AL ballpark while wearing an orange jersey on a Wednesday night while playing a team that moved from Canada.
Oh, man.
It's a little less impressive.
So I thought my YouTube TV was going to record the Oklahoma basketball game because I thought it was going to come on again on one of the extra channels. It did not, so I still don't have access to that. But it is the next game is going to air. I am going to watch that. I get to watch that one. So
no, you won't. It's on Sooner Sports TV, I think. the opener against UTSA
Yeah,
next week.
it
Yeah, I
said
think
Fox
it's on.
Sports.
I think it may eventually hit Fox Sports, but I think its original airing is going to be Sirius Sports TV.
What day is the game?
Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
The 5th?
Sure.
Oh well. I mean, it had an upcoming scheduled thing for the 5th, so
Well, hell, if they're just going to show, that'd be great. But
maybe it'll be after the fact.
mm-hmm. Maybe it airs and they re-air it like later that same day.
Yeah. Thanks for the follow, Duel. Okay. Thank you. Also, everybody remember to subscribe if you like what we're doing.
Even if you don't.
Yeah, even if you don't, subscribe.
If you just want to come in here and like tell us how bad we are and how dumb we are,
Yeah.
do that. Go for it.
Yeah, for sure. And
Why
if
have you
you're
not got
a
this guy's
Amazon,
koozie yet?
if you're an Amazon Prime customer, you get to subscribe for free. So, there should be a try Prime button somewhere on your screen. Blinkin, you're the best. Still need my koozie. What's your Twitter? Did you purchase a koozie? Did you win a koozie in a contest?
Just send it to him.
Yeah. Probably. Prof, what's up?
What's up? We're trying.
Yeah, trying.
We've actually we've moved on to basketball season. It seems we're gonna finish this baseball season and go immediately to basketball, college.
So I was talking earlier with John Hoover. I'm gonna name drop.
By the way. Breaking Thunder lost.
Whatever.
Trailblazers got him by 3.
So I'm gonna name drop. I was talking with John Hoover earlier. By talking to, I mean I do a weekly thing with this podcast. So, but we were talking about how weird it was, like the OU game. So, numbers wise, on either side, really, I mean, outside of points, Oklahoma didn't do that bad. So if you compare Oklahoma to the Kansas game, or the Kansas State game to the Kansas game, Oklahoma allowed roughly the same number of plays. Both Kansas and Kansas State had the same number of possessions. They had the same number of third down conversion attempts and converted the same number of times. Kansas outgained in yards per play Kansas State by a small margin. There's all these things that are just that they don't look too bad. It doesn't look out of place. It doesn't look like a game. You don't look at the game log of the defense and think, "Oh, well, that's definitely the game that they lost." What turned it was, one, the 2 fluky turnovers, which, it could have been a
Are we required to
swing
call them fluky turnovers now?
Yes, because all turnovers are fluky.
Noted.
So there's the turnovers, which could have been possibly a 28-point swing in the score. And then there's the yards per play, right? Against Kansas had some chunk plays, but Oklahoma had a lot of stuff plays, and stuff plays in drives. Kansas State averaged a similar yards per play, but they were consistently getting 5 or 6 yards a play. So I think something like in the Kansas game, only about 25% of their plays went from 3 to 10 yards. 35%, over a third of them in the Kansas State game went that. So those are drive sustaining types of things, which both of those, the turnovers and that consistency in gaining, yards led to twice the number of red zone trips that Oklahoma had allowed to that point in the season. So, and Oklahoma's not great in the red zone. Their touchdown rate is okay. It's about middle of the pack at 65 or so percent. But Oklahoma is in the mid 90s when it comes to scoring in general. So, I don't know.
That's
It was a
still like
weird game.
that's still like 40 places better than they were last year, though, right?
Oh yeah, no, they were especially bad when it
Like
last year.
historically bad, right?
Historically, they were allowing a touchdown on I think 83% of red zone attempts by the other team, which is a mark that no college football team had been that bad since 2013. I think that was like a very bad. I'm saying no college football team like Connecticut, UConn wasn't that bad. So it is a weird game, really weird game. The advanced box score from Bill Connolly had
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma winning that game 65% of the time, like just based on performance and what happened on the field.
Yeah.
It was just the big, it was the slump in the middle of the game and the turnovers that just flipped it on its head.
We've got a comment here. Game management. You say Lincoln's questionable calls in the fourth quarter, but can be somewhat chalked up to simple lack of head coach experience in a close game with minimal time. Bob left the stable in good shape. Lincoln's never dealt with a shit team that's had to consistently win by hook or by crook. Hasn't been in that position that much. That is up Doc's theory.
I can see that. I mean, I can see having a whole lot going on and um, you know, kind of forgetting the situation, forgetting where you are, there were a couple of timeout calls there at the end where I was like, you can't burn a timeout there, you
Well,
know.
do you think part of it is that he's still the offensive play caller? You think that could have led into some of this?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it shouldn't. At the very least, they should have somebody like in his ear going, "You can't call a timeout this time. You can't call a timeout this time." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's got to be somebody. I mean, hell, like some intern somewhere. You know, people can't just go out and coach a football team on a game day, right?
Yeah.
But most people understand kind of basic clock management stuff. If not just from like Madden or whatever. Like, so it's understandable to kind of lose track of that during the game when you've got a million other things going on.
Sure.
But it seems weird that there's not someone else that can be like, that little chirping in his ear, hey, remember this, remember this, remember this. And you gotta also consider the fact that he's going up a guy with 20 plus years of experience on him,
Million
and
national titles.
yeah, like a million national titles. Um, so I mean, there's that. I don't know.
I
It
think my
wasn't
big
it
problem
wasn't that big a deal.
with that game was yeah, we got conservative at times, and in weird like when we kicked that field goal in the second quarter, I think it was, instead of going for it, I thought that was a no brainer. We go for it, and then just the need, the want, the desire. I don't know exactly what it is, but to just get too cute. I can't think of any better way to describe it. That's the way I keep hearing it and describing it. With the trick plays, the end around into a flea flicker, into a wide receiver, da bomb, da bomb, da blitz, da bomb kind of thing. It's unnecessary. And when your two workhorse backs, that rush for like 2,000 yards last year combined, get 6 carries. something's off in the game plan.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, and yeah, I understand we don't need to be running trick plays, but I mean, I don't really mind them. My thing was the kind of pulling up and not going for it on a couple of those fourth downs and kicking field goals. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, like that bugs me more than the trick plays did.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I guess if I feel like if you're Oklahoma, you go out there and say, okay, prove you can stop us, uh, instead of just kind of conceding and giving the ball back.
Yeah. Oh man, where are we at in
Have
this
you done
ball
the
game?
odds yet on if the Pac-12 gets a team in? How does Oklahoma's chances look just to make the college football playoff?
Um, I haven't seen, but I can't imagine it's great.
I've got 538's projections up right now.
What
Uh,
do they got?
the way it stands right now, the top four teams in terms of percent chance to make the playoffs: Clemson at 86%, Ohio State at 65, Alabama at 53, LSU at 44. The next closest team, Oklahoma at 29%.
Hmm.
Now what's fun, and put as much stock into these things as you want, but these are one of those things that, like, you click a few buttons and you can give yourself all the hope in the world. So I'm just gonna click this Oklahoma win out button. According to them, they've got a 25% chance to do that.
Yes.
Which is it's better than LSU. It's better than Penn State. Better than Georgia, Baylor, Utah, Florida, Minnesota, Wisconsin. So those kind of teams. So when I click that, Oklahoma's chance jumps to 88% just by winning out, and that's with nothing else going on.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think those kind of rankings are great. Don't get me wrong, but I think they'll be more meaningful after the first set of college football playoff poll.
Oh,
They'll
sure. And
like
with the
some of
big
that'll get
the
kind of cemented in.
oh, here
there's
in
a base
here
to
in two
go
weeks
with.
after the big games between LSU and Alabama and, oh, what's the other one? Minnesota, Penn State. That
Yeah,
sounds weird saying that Minnesota, Penn State's a real important game here.
yeah. Prof says I think Sooners curb stomp Iowa State. Gonna exercise some demons. Oh man, I
the,
hope.
the demons from last week, the demons from last time they were in Norman.
Yeah, I'm going to
I'm
that
still
game.
like, I'm still not convinced that there's still time on that clock. I swear.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, I'm going to that game, or I'm at least going to Norman for that game. That'll be fun.
You talk about your trip. I'm gonna step away.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going up, and I believe I'm going to be doing I'm going to be joining the Sam Mays on his Sam Mays podcast, which we a lot of fun. I'm going to bring all the Bedlam facts. Um, that's going to be fun as hell. But then probably go tailgate with the Sooner podcast guys. Um, they're going to be great. That's always a fun deal. Terry and Rob are always great and always have a good time. So I'm excited for the trip. Heading out Thursday, which will be good. Let's see. Can't believe Gophers are undefeated. That's the other school I attended. They were awful the years I was there. Oh, nice. Yeah, they haven't had many great seasons as of late. Um, but they look pretty good. They look pretty good this year. Dual OK. Nice. Have you talked to Chris after the ESPN stat of the day? You dropped last week. I have not talked to the bear, but he did reach out and say, uh, sorry, couldn't remember, where I got it, um, but you know, it was all good. It was all good. Um, I don't care if they name drop me on whatever. I just thought it was cool that they used the stat. Um, but yeah, that was pretty cool. Sooner Nation did know where it came from. They were on top of it. Uh, I hadn't even started watching game day yet, and I started getting notifications just blowing up my phone, putting, oh, Blinkin stat, put some respect on Blinkin's name, that kind of stuff. It was awesome. Who comes out between OU and Oregon? Yeah, we got that a couple times. Dual okay, White Weenie. Um, I think probably Oklahoma. I don't know though. Oregon will have only lost to Auburn, which I mean at this point I don't know if it's a any better loss than Kansas State, but I don't know. My gut tells me Oklahoma.
Your gut tells you Oklahoma what?
Who comes out between OU and Oregon? One loss OU, one loss Oregon.
Oh, to get in the playoff, or
if it came down to it, I think is the situation. If it came down to one of those teams, who comes out on top? Who comes out with the better chance to make the playoff? I think I went OU, just kind of brand been there kind of a thing, and by the end of the season, I don't know that a Oregon loss to Auburn is going to be any better of a loss than a OU loss to Kansas State. So
sure. I think it's a the hell. The Rockets just beat the Wizards 159 to 158 in regulation.
Dang, it's like an all-star game. Prof says if OU wins out and beats undefeated Baylor, I think those style points matter. I think style points matter too. I mean, they tried to trick us by saying there's a playoff, but it's not really a playoff. College football is still the game of perception. So
this is when it's a situation like this when all of the conference people are going to need to come out and say, well, OU needs to barely beat Baylor and then beat the hell out of them in the Big 12 championship game. They need a close win here, so Baylor doesn't fall that far in the rankings to set it up for a decently ranked game for the Big 12 title.
God, wouldn't that be some gamesmanship? If you could pull that off. Updoc thinks the Ducks.
Putting on third down kind of thing.
Yeah, Updoc thinks the Ducks come out on top. Week 1 to an SEC team, especially if Clemson and Tide are in. Same 3 of 4 teams get in, or again, might not go Sooners' way. Hope I'm wrong. Well, this is something I talked about earlier was, and I think we might have mentioned it on the previous episode, that yes, the last 2 years Oklahoma got into the playoff with one loss, but last year they beat their team that they lost to earlier in the season, and 2 years ago they had a road win against Ohio State. This season they have neither of those things, and probably won't have either of those things by the end of it. So I don't know. I think it's a tougher, a steeper hill to climb than the last couple of years, if I were to guess.
Oh, 100%. And it's I think they're gonna need a little bit of chaos. Like, I don't think it's as clear cut as, Alabama loses this game, Clemson loses this game, Ohio State wins this game, as it has been in years past.
Yep.
Because there are, in terms of the Big Ten, you got Minnesota playing Penn State this week. Both are undefeated. Penn State and Ohio State are going to have to come across each other. Minnesota wins this game against Penn State. Ohio State, that could lead to an unbeaten conference championship game. I think Vanderbilt is still in the mix, just because of that SEC branding. So,
when did we start talking college baseball?
Oh, that's what I was talking.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, that makes sense.
No. something Yukon. I don't know. They need to change the super regional format. And I like the super regional format.
Ooh. Could you imagine if the Big Ten totally implodes on itself? Michigan beats Ohio State, and then Ohio State loses in the rematch to Wisconsin or whoever makes it out of that.
That'd be fantastic. Can Indiana come out of this somehow? So they
only have
Nebraska
2 losses, right? They 1 or 2 losses?
Hell, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Indiana football.
I think they only have 2 losses.
But did you see? So they played Nebraska last week, and they beat Nebraska, and there was a big disrespect kind of vibe around it. Mm-hmm. Indiana felt disrespect. Did you see anything about this?
No.
So I guess the disrespect came from Scott Frost asking the Big Ten that Nebraska plays Indiana more often to balance their schedule.
So Scott Frost wanted to play Indiana more often.
Yes.
To balance their schedule.
Yeah, he wanted them to be their cross-division rival. Because I guess he found that to be an easier win than maybe Ohio State. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's got to keep in mind that he's in the Big Ten West, and that does a lot for your schedule to begin with.
Yeah. Wow, I missed that. Let's see where we got in the chat here. Last time Minnesota won or started 7-0, they won a natty. When was that? 1929?
Yeah, I think we discussed Minnesota's 80 national championships when we were doing one of our blue blood talks.
They're the weird almost blue blood, but nobody knows it kind of a thing.
Yeah, Indiana's 3-2 right now.
Long time ago. Indiana's what?
3-2 in conference. That's good enough to tie him with Michigan. If they were in the other division, they would also be tied with Wisconsin and Iowa. Rutgers and Northwestern is really the game I want to see.
Good grief. Rutgers and Northwestern. Trying to put the world to sleep.
Perception problem. If LSU smokes Bama, that might make it tough on us. I think LSU's already in. I think it's a matter of what the committee thinks about Alabama.
Yeah.
I think it also is Tua playing in that game, because I think they'll look at an Alabama win or Alabama loss in 2 different ways. One, if Tua plays, and it'll be a different thing if Tua doesn't play.
I don't know. Has the committee like? I feel like that would be a big precedent to set for the committee to make a judgment like that based on an injury.
They've said they take injuries into account into these things.
Wow.
But
All right, we'll
if
see.
LSU
We'll see a
smokes them
duel.
and
Okay.
maybe Auburn gets them, that takes Alabama out of the picture. I think. I could be way wrong on that. Bama name be too strong, perhaps.
Maybe. I don't know. That's. I feel like that's. I don't know. Just like whitewashing a loss just because somebody was hurt.
You know what's great?
What?
We've got like 6 more weeks of just this content. This will carry us. Like we can do an hour and a half on this nonsense. Like Oklahoma could lose their next 4 games. But I don't know. Like if I click this button, 538 says they've got a 0.5% chance, and I like it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I think
it's the machine.
I think that's one of the things that makes college football different and makes it kind of fun is these debates.
Oh yeah.
You don't have that. You don't have that in a lot of other sports.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean that's what drives the popularity is the fan bases getting after each other and the talk about who's better than whom and
yeah, there's
because
that.
Because
also the fact that you can start like pounding beers at 9 in the morning and everyone accepts it. They're like, okay, that's fine. It's game day. Like, yes, it's a perfectly reasonable activity for a 45-year-old dude. At least I hope that's the case when I'm a 45-year-old dude pounding beers at 9 in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. We've been at it for about an hour. I think it's about time to...
Hold on.
Ooh, we got a good question.
We need your thoughts on this one. NCAA ruling.
It's about time.
Other than the video game.
Other than the video game. It's about time. I think it's silly that a person can't just go, I don't know, get a job because somebody wants them to work for them.
Opens can of worms.
I mean, I don't think it's that big a deal.
And their chat went on 4 more hours.
I just don't think it's that big a deal. I mean, they're gonna put something in place. Probably, you can't contact for endorsement deals before you sign with a university or something like that. And it's not gonna, it's not gonna fully fix it, but it's not fully fixed now. Freaking bagmen going to jail like once a week. I mean, if you think that
Nationals just put up another run.
If you think that it's gonna get somehow like, oh, there'll only be a couple teams win the national championship now. Well, that's how it is now.
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Oh, Clemson and Alabama played for the last 4 national championships. Oh man, it's not gonna be any different. And you might as well just let kids make a little extra money if Joe Schmo wants to, pay him for their heating and air company to come out and say, "Oh, buy us."
Heating and air company. That's awfully specific.
Well, I mean, like a local business type thing.
I'll tell you,
it's gonna happen. And if they want to pay to have whoever come on, that's like American. That's like the most American thing. You're worth what someone's willing to pay you. And like I said, I get it. I get the concern.
Something that's really important to keep in mind that has kind of been glossed over in the Twitter world and the headlines is that the NCAA just said, look into this.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the books yet, Like we're good, we're getting there. We're gonna get there. I think with these laws being passed in California and in Florida, like the NCAA had to do something to kind of get ahead of those. Uh, and this is the first step. I think it's one of the very few right steps the NCAA has made in a while. But we have to keep in mind that nothing has been put into the bylaws or any of the NCAA language yet. They just said, hey, maybe we should look into this.
Right. Right. I mean, exactly. JP Howard says leery that players will start picking schools based on what it will mean for their marketing prospects. Like, so you can't have. They're not changing scholarship rules. You can only have so many people at a certain team.
There's
Like
that.
USC can't have all the players.
I think another misconception is that the schools are paying these people. Like that's not the case at all.
Oh no, absolutely
Like
not.
the scholarships are still there. These people can just go out and sign autographs somewhere.
Yeah.
They can hawk for a local air conditioning company.
But I mean, that's exactly how it works now. The best players go to the best schools, and when those scholarships fill up, they go to the next best schools, and then those scholarships fill up, and they go to the next best schools. Like it trickles down all the way down to UMass, right? Like,
well, at this point, I would like to announce
if
my
there's
commitment to UMass.
but I mean, if there's somebody says, hey, we'll give you 20 grand for doing a weekly chat at my bar, after the games or something. Like, okay, that player's going to go there, and then all the good players are going to go to one school, the best school, and then all the next best players are going to go to the next best school, just like it is now. I don't see there's no more scholarships. You're only going to earn money if you play. If you're like a, brand, if
And
people know you, they're not changing. They're not changing the number of players on the field. Like you still have to get on the field and play. Nobody knows your name if you don't. So I think a lot of this is overblown.
Sure. Consider a school like Clemson, which despite all of success, top-notch coach, has a comparatively small fan base. Maybe if you're choosing between Clemson and some school with a huge fan base, you don't go to Clemson.
Sure. I mean, it might change who's in power right now.
Okay, so I think,
brand is going to matter.
And Clemson specifically. I think I sent you this link the other day that Dabo Swinney would consider retiring if they started paying college football players.
Yeah.
As like the highest paid football coach in the history of football. That is just fucking cute. That is fucking cute. Good
well, it was also a quote from May. And
you could say this in May. You could say it a million years
ago. And that's not exactly what he said.
$10 million.
And it's not exactly what he said. He said, what he said was, if college kids are going to start paid like pros, I might as well just go be a pro coach.
Sure.
I mean, that's what he said. That was the context of what he said.
Wouldn't work as a pro coach, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. But
all right,
that's the context. It was a clickbaity headline.
They got me then.
It was yeah. So, but yeah, I don't think it'll change much.
Either way, some dude that's making $10 million a year commenting on what somebody else makes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was relatively painless. We got through that discussion pretty good.
Hey, does anybody have anything they want to throw in real quick? Okay, hold on. Before we go, I got a question for you.
What do you got?
We've got an idle week this week. What do you do with your idle weeks? And anybody in the chat, what do you do with your idle weeks?
Ooh, idle weeks. So usually what I do is I'll watch movies or do chores or this and that. It's pretty boring.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide, what to do. Do I still spend all day watching football? Like I forget what I do from one idle week to another.
I mean, I'll have it on somewhere, but I'm usually not paying that much attention to it, honestly.
Something on in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that's the way like growing up. I think that's the way my dad did it. Dad was off on weekends and mom worked, and so he would have football on. And I think this was most week. Like he would sit down and watch the OU game. Uh, but with all the other college football going on, if Oklahoma wasn't playing, he'd be like doing chores and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I usually do. Like I said, usually chores or like watch some movies, like a movie marathon or something.
Do you have anything queued up for this weekend?
I've been trying to get my wife to watch the Escape from New York, Escape from LA movies. Because they're like, they're like two of my favorite movies. The first one's like good. The second one is completely ridiculous and like it's so bad it's good. You know?
Hashtag goals. How do you think you're faring on this?
I think she's down to watch it. But it like the timing has to be right. Like I gotta be like, hey, you know what we haven't done yet?
You're gonna be Mr. Rico Suave here, like sneaking in.
Yeah.
Watchmen series on HBO. It's all in Tulsa. We got.
Would you like to watch 5 hours of Kurt Russell?
I mean, why stop at 5?
I know. I mean, if you got those two movies in, throw on Tombstone, you could make it an even 8.
You ought to break it up with Tombstone, actually.
Yeah, that would be great.
Well, it sounds like you've got your weekend plan.
Yep.
Like I said here, Updoc says Watchmen series on HBO. It's all in Tulsa.
Oh, really? I'll have to give that a watch. I might. Should I watch the Watchmen movie again first? Because I don't know.
On Twitter, they'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to see if I need to watch that first. Because I don't mind.
No. You should ask Twitter what you should do this weekend and then like commit to it regardless. Like we'll put some options. We'll put your
Gotcha.
chores and your movie marathon, and then we'll put something really weird on there. And then you are obligated to do that because the internet said so.
Of course.
Well, you say of course. I think you're like crossing your fingers when you say this. You don't actually mean it.
No, I don't.
No.
You can mail that guy's koozie this weekend. Yes.
Don't even wait till the weekend.
Yes.
You've been waiting long enough.
Yes, I will send it. Absolutely. But
sign it and give a personal note to it as well.
Oh, for sure. Final thoughts, Tom? Anything? You got anything?
No, not really. I mean, my mind is just blank, kind of void. Like I don't have anything to worry about this weekend. Like I mean, the World Series is about to end, so there's going to be no baseball till February. So life might as well not exist. I got an off week for Oklahoma football. My Denver Broncos actually take on the Cleveland Browns in Baker Mayfield.
Ooh.
I hope the Broncos get him, and I hope the Broncos get him good. Fortunately for Baker Mayfield, the Broncos aren't a very good football team. So maybe it's playing the Broncos that'll turn their season around.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Yeah, I don't really have any final thoughts. It's like, off week final thoughts. So, still kind of
I suppose.
Yeah. Still kind of going back and forth on the loss, and but it's whatever. It happens every year. Like
I'll tell you.
Oklahoma
I'll
has.
tell you when.
So in the last
when
50
Oklahoma
years,
loses.
Oklahoma has 4 national championships, but has only won every game on their schedule twice. So take that for what you will. It doesn't happen very often.
Did Rev just show up at the end of this?
I think so. Sorry about you, Rev. We're about to peace out. So
when are we doing this again, or when are you doing this?
so Friday.
Okay, that's it. That's the weird option. Fuck it, go bowling. Movie marathon, chores.
All right.
Fuck it, go bowling. It's not just go bowling. It's fuck it, go bowling.
All right. I might go bowling.
Rev, you're good.
You're good, Rev. But yeah, Friday we're gonna have Chisholm Holland, who works with the franchise in Oklahoma City. He is the host / producer of the Sam Mays podcast, and he's going to be joining us on Friday evening. So that should be great.
You.
Oh, you're not in?
Nah, I think I've got something to do.
All right.
It's like a Halloween. It's a Halloween party.
Gotcha.
Costume contest kind of thing. I think I'm missing the costume contest, but I will actually be in costume, so
I got you.
Weird. Like we talked on Sunday. I went home for that Niwala for the Halloween festival, and it ended on Saturday night. And so, like, I feel like it's November 4th right now. Not that Halloween is in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And if Halloween's in 2 hours, then, like, I need a Joffle, which I don't think is going to happen. So I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah.
But no, you and Chisholm have a wonderful time Friday night, and I will be, I'm going to have a beer for Chisholm, and then I'm going to have a beer for you.
All right.
At the bar we're going to be at, so.
All right. Well, sounds good. Yeah. So tune in Friday. It'll be
Sunday?
Great.
You and Chisholm Sunday, me and you on Sunday? Or Friday? Sunday?
Me and Chisholm are going to be on Friday.
Days of the week are hard.
But yeah, we can do Sunday. Me and you.
All right, you guys send Blinkin your best available times for Sunday. He'll report back on his 82 game at bowling.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Blinkin plays with bumpers.
Oh, whatever. Whatever.
Can't wait to hear Blinkin stat on May's show.
Oh, I'm gonna unload the Blinkin or the Bedlam Fact Fridays. It's gonna be great. He's gonna be steaming out of his ears.
Like a cartoon. I like the sounds of this.
Yep.
Do people keep scoring bowling? How do you know who wins? What kind of bowling are you playing, Rev?
Oh, man. And on that note,
I'm always too drunk. The computer does it. The pins just count themselves. Oh, he might be going to one of those Dust Bowl kind of places where you got to keep it on pen and paper.
God, like a freaking pilgrim?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lame.
We actually had a course in bowling, which included that in like middle school gym.
Y'all ever been to Grove, Oklahoma? I think I drove through.
No more.
I think I drove through one time.
You needed to say.
Yeah, I think I drove through Grove one time on my way to Grand Lake.
In that one sentence.
Yeah, on my way to Grand Lake.
Right, we're not getting okay. All right, we can't give you shit for anything like this anymore, Rev. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
we didn't know.
We didn't know.
Next time, preface it with Rev from Grove.
That's funny. All right, well.
All right, guys.
On that note,
I guess that's it.
We're out. See y'all.
See you next time.